We are in a part of the world where emotions are still extremely important, where people are extremely attached to building those relations, and we can feel it every day. If you build only a very professional, very organized, very structured relation into this part of the world, there is an element which is missing, which cannot help you to start or to progress more.
We've looked at companies with great ambition and those that have achieved significant growth in this series. But what does it take once you're at the top to stay at the top? With an increasingly competitive regional environment, how do you ensure your business keeps its position as the market leader and continues to attract the right international partnerships? I sat down with Patrick Chalhoub, CEO of Chalhoub Group, one of the Middle East's largest luxury retailers, travel and marketing groups, to talk about how he keeps his company at the top of its game. After all, it's never just business. I'm Riz Khan, and this is the CEO's Outlook with HSBC.
We have to imagine ourselves in a market where there was no retail stores. Or if there were a retail store, there were all those retail stores which are a little bit like a big grocery where you have luxury and not luxury. You had to imagine a period where even the brands were not interested into those markets. So you have to beg them in order that you bring their products and in order to do it.
The Chalhoub Group is one of the Middle East's leading retailers with over 400 stores in 14 countries and counting. It's an impressive case study for expansion for companies in the region. Working with brands like Christian Dior, Louis Vuitton and Nina Ricci, the group runs a portfolio of over 300 brands via franchises, joint ventures and partnerships. And not content with that, the group also runs a stable of its own brands in the market.
In terms of challenges, definitely we are in a region where often we have a microenvironment which is giving us a hard time. So dealing with this adversity of the macroeconomical part of it, when we had, the Lebanese civil war, I didn't have to deal with it, my parents had to deal with it. But when we had the Iraqi invasion in Kuwait, I had to deal with the situation and I had to take certain courageous decisions. And retrospectively, it is things which I'm very proud of having been able to take such a decision and not standing aside about it. So this is definitely some of the biggest achievements which I had, be it in 1990 or be it in 2009 when there was a downturn of the economy about it. The other part is when you have opportunities. And for me, I probably have made two things of which I'm very proud. One is a transformation of our activity from being a kind of ambassador of luxury lifestyle to become really partner of luxury lifestyle. And the big difference is to become an active partner rather to be a passive ambassador. And the other part of it is to create things ourselves, so probably on concept stores or brands which are meaningful for our partners, but also building equity for our group, such as Level Shoes or such our perfumeries, Wujuh, which are implemented into the Middle East. And this is really something which, with my team, we have been able to initiate ourselves and to give great values to our partners.
I was thinking that you're also in a region where expansion comes at a substantial cost. How have you always covered your bases? How have you made sure that as you make decisions to grow within the region, now 14 countries of course, that you're always taking the right steps? How do you get that expertise?
HSBC have been our banker since 1990, so about 25 years ago. And at that time, it was the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait. Everybody was extremely shy about this market, and at that time we decided to enter the UAE market and beyond, because most of our activity were based in Kuwait and where it was totally blocked. I really need a bank with whom I could bank and who could give me advice. And they said, give us the project which you are working on. And I shared with them a project of building a warehouse in Jabal Ali, which was part of our strategic plan before, a project of creating a hub of distribution from a free zone and do it. And I shared with them some plans to do it into some other places about it. And I found a great banker who was there to give us the right advice, to tell us this is the plus and minuses if you take this step and this step, and this is what we would recommend you to do and what we would love you to do, but without imposing on us, with giving us the plus and minuses, probably because of the experience I had. Having also a banker which is present internationally, but present very strongly locally. In each one, we are only into the Middle Eastern market. We don't have activities outside the Middle Eastern market. But in each one of those markets, we have found with HSBC a local bank, at the same time that we have found a regional and international bank about it. So the best of all is to have this local views of the things and this regional and global views of the things.
Interestingly, in 2009, Chalhoub Group spent a lot of money restructuring. At a time there was recession, at a time when things were tough, and you invested more in consumer research, you cut some of your costs. What gave you the confidence to take these steps at that time?
I mean, two things. One, as a family business, we look for sustainability. So I'm more interested to see how we would be around and successful in 50 years from now, 6 years from now, then what are the financial results which will produce tomorrow. So this is the beauty of a family business. And again, it doesn't mean that you are stupid. It means that we will favor always long-term before favoring short-term. And when we speak about long-term, is to really locate, even at difficult time, what is essential to build this long-term and what is only fat and which we don't need it about it. The other thing I would say, I'm totally convinced that this part of the world, that the GCC, has great things to offer. And sometimes you have a wave which is very favorable. Sometimes you might have adverse wind. But either you believe in this place and you invest into it and you invest into its people, or you are shy about it and you have an opportunistic look about it. And being a family business, thinking long-term, having beliefs that this part of the world, and what makes me very confident about this part of the world is the young population. There is so much this youth is able to give and will give, which will make it quite outstanding.
Growing a company is hard. There's no two ways about it. It's a difficult thing to do to keep that personal drive and passion going through the good times and the bad. The rewards, both personal and financial, when you achieve success, though, makes everything worth it. But keeping a business at the pinnacle is the part that fascinates me. Balancing the right partners with decisions to reinforce and grow the business is the key to being a great CEO of a large company. As Patrick Chalhoub has demonstrated, it can be a journey that's difficult but ultimately very rewarding. It goes without saying that with the right perspective, you can achieve anything in business. Catch more stories of achievement and ambition with me, Riz Khan, and HSBC. And as Patrick Chalhoub can attest to, after all, it's never just business.